Hello and welcome back to our Round 3 Back 9 lead card coverage from the Las Vegas Challenge presented by Innova Discs. PDGA National Tour stop number 1, BigSexy commentary here with you from Las Vegas, Nate Sexton and Jeremy Koling.
Front 9, we see Calvin Heimburg shooting a scorching 7 down, taking that lead from 4 or 5 to a lot more than that. It's a 7 now over Austin, but we've got other cars chasing in. The action is getting heated. You see Paul McBeth, P. McBee going big. Ricky Wysocki, the sport is better when they're doing great, and they are doing really good stuff. Thomas Gilbert from Canada, Cale LaVisca, Eric Oakley. I mean, just some really low scores coming together on this front 9.
It's almost like there never even was an offseason. These guys are coming out and killing it.
It's really kind of almost like annoying, but really cool, but mostly annoying, but really cool.
Yeah, hole 10, par 3, 378. Just coming from our last video, just a quick shout out to Andrew Presnell. 8th this hole, right before our lead card played it.
Yeah, that's sick.
I believe he threw Nuke OS.
Okay. Yeah, it's kind of a tricky hole for the right-hand backhand hyzer play because you have this palm right here, and then you really want to hang it out over the water. It can be a bit scary. You're going to see a lot of shots kind of finishing out in this range where Calvin is at the safer 35 to 40-foot range. The play is, I feel, if you have it, that low skipping sidearm.
Austin said he took a 7 on this hole last year, and he said he wasn't even interested. He's just bailing out.
Wow. And you know, he has such a powerful forehand, but his forehand is more of a anhyzer distance. This is more of like a flip up or a flat release forehand, something that you're really good at, something I know you've been working a lot with this offseason because you've had a bit of struggles with your shoulder.
Yeah, this is a really good throw for me. A little bit of pain there still, but I'm getting over it pretty quickly. That was an X-Cal, and that's about the maximum all I've got at this moment, but I'm expecting to get more of my power back very soon.
Yeah, we'll hope so. And Josh hanging out super wide, hits the hillside, and oh no. You saw the disc roll back down the hill and it's out of bounds by that much. That is a heartbreaking result.
Austin, wow. Nearly got himself a birdie when he wasn't even trying to.
Well, I think he was trying.
I mean, he tried on the putt, but he was saying from the tee, like, I don't care, I'm just getting a par here.
No, it sounds like you said he wasn't even trying, man.
Well, maybe it was an accident, I don't know. And Josh to save, of course.
Continuing his trend on the front 9 of big putts for par, and he's that's a great par to pick up after that unfortunate result. And you're putting with your new signature putter, the Firefly, I believe, correct?
Man. This is an Innova Firefly, new Tour Series disc coming out. I mean, they let a few out, but more are going to be coming out shortly. New plastic called Nexus. It's really grippy, durable, and kind of a deep dish putter.
Yeah, something I'll definitely be checking out soon.
I'm really enjoying them.
And Calvin in for his par. And Austin cleaning up the par that he was playing for. The change really just got in the way of that par.
Also, I have to say, my wife named the Firefly.
Oh, shout out to Bree.
Yeah.
Maybe Cora maybe gave her the idea.
Yeah, I don't know. It's that synergy with the Firebird. I guess she thought of it. I like the name.
Yeah, it's a great name.
Hole 11, par 4, 565, going over the green. This one's been lengthened. OB on the right. OB left doesn't come into play as much. You really just want to throw hard, hit the green, and skip off to the left a little, or if you've got big power, you might even be able to go for 2.
It's right in that range where it's like quasi-attackable, but it's real scary, I think, because of that water. You just don't want to turn anything over and go out of bounds. It's an unnecessary mistake to make, and that's the ideal play right there. I almost put you in like the long 80 to 90, maybe even 100-foot jump putt range.
Yes.
But Calvin, definitely a player who has the distance to get there in one, but it looks like he's kind of playing for the safer bailout to the left play. Although that's not really that safe. That's huge.
Yeah, probably 40, 50 feet, a couple branches in the way.
Wow.
Opportunity.
He really gets behind that disc. Calvin's a tall guy, as you can see on film. He's 6'4", 6'5", and really turns his hips and gets a ton of whip behind his shot.
Yeah, Austin said he was going to play a little safer, go with overstable, kind of bail left of the green. He did that well. And Josh going with a big wing.
Big wing right here. That's another shot that's going to land pretty close to yours, I imagine.
Yep. About 20 to 30 feet short of where my disc is. A good spot to be.
kind of a tricky approach here. This is a new pin placement, making the approach more technical. Oh, and that's going to be... You should be able to straddle around that no problem, but trickier than it could be.
Trickier than you might like it to be.
And that's Anthon's Luster AVR X3, a disc that he was talking about in practice rounds, liking a lot. Yeah, definitely running after that. With that, was that the dart?
Yep, trying to float it up there. I ran up there to make sure there wasn't too much of a drop off, and it felt like one I could give him half effort at.
Oh, and Calvin, who knows what would have happened minus that little tree finger.
We asked him afterwards. Austin said, if it didn't hit that branch, was it going in? He said, I'd like to think so. And I said, you're absolutely free to think so. You know, go for it. You don't need to hedge your bets. Just say, I think so.
It looked like a good release.
Yeah. It's up to you now.
Yeah.
You don't have to just like to think so. You can go ahead and do it.
What do you guys think? Comment yes if you think it was going in. And comment maybe if you don't think it was. And comment no if you want nachos. I don't know. I'm going to comment no, though, because I want some nachos.
All birdies there for the group. Hole 12, the only par 5 on the entire property, 937 feet. This one has OB on both sides, one hazard sand trap at about 600 feet from the tee. But mostly you just have to stay out of those trees, stay in the fairway. Really not that hard of a birdie. And this is, again, not the right basket position. It's going to be a little longer and more out in the field.
It's kind of surprising it's the only par 5 considering how many long open shots we have at our disposal here at the Wild Horse Golf Club. But it's definitely attackable. You get a good drive off, and a roller is certainly in play for that second shot. Maybe even an air shot. Calvin can definitely get there with 2 air shots, no problem. He's turned this destroyer over a little bit too much. Might be a tricky spot to throw a second. Yeah, that's really tricky. Yeah. Nice pull from Austin.
Yeah, good height there. That's just cruising past my disc. Great shot.
And I don't know if he's quite in range to showcase that big forehand. I don't even know if he's really throwing it much because we haven't seen anything yet.
Look at this roller.
Josh is an angle technician here. If this can stand back up, this could be really
bleeding
big.
a little bit too much right.
Yeah, that's what I was afraid of.
But it's big distance. See what kind of line he's got.
Yeah, where this tee is, it makes it really difficult to land that roller on anything but those rocks, which can be quite tricky. And what are you throwing for roller here?
Sidewinder.
Okay. That's been your go-to roller disc for a long time now. And that's a really nice shot. Rolling backwards a little bit, that's about 50 feet for eagle.
Overturned it, but it's low enough. I don't think it was likely to clear the fence.
Yeah.
But the trees stopped it anyway.
Yeah, the fence line turns and goes out to the right a little bit right there at that corner. Otherwise, that would have been in danger.
This shot really scared me because he just kind of took it right around that bunker, but he had enough on it. No harm done. Josh, I thought might go roller here, but he actually went with a big air shot.
Wow.
And he couldn't even see. He was asking us, did it flex out? Did it cut roll? He didn't even know, but it flexed out. And it stayed in bounds just barely.
Those signs are there to kind of separate the fairway between this hole and the next, but they're not out of bounds.
Calvin with a kind of a lazy approach there a little bit. Kind of got away from him, but he's still in range.
There's Austin showcasing his forehand approach skills. Looked like that was a zone.
I'm probably 60 feet.
Oh, yeah, looked a little bit closer
Going
initially.
with the dart.
Good effort.
I have such a hard time with a tailwind from that distance and the super short grass. It's so hard to convince myself to throw it hard enough. Great birdie putt.
Yeah, Calvin struggling for his birdie. All the rest of you guys are going to be cleaning up fairly easy birdies. There were 3 eagles on the hole.
Nice.
P. McBee with his second eagle of the round after eagling hole 2. Kevin Jones and Eagle McMahon. Any surprise in those names on this?
Those
hold?
don't surprise me much. That's great, though. A nice 3.
And Kevin doesn't really throw that many rollers, so I imagine that's air shot.
Yeah, I would. Yeah, that wouldn't shock me. I mean, 900. It's under 1,000, so
yeah,
he can definitely do that. Hole 13, par 3. Look at that average for a par 3.
Yeah,
453 going uphill over the bunker. You got OB long, though it's not likely to come into play. Really, it's about this green and this bunker.
What did it say the average was there?
I think it said 4.5.
And it says 3.28 here on UDisc, so I think that might have been a mistake.
That was just shockingly high.
No, it's not that high, but this hole doesn't. It wouldn't really surprise me if it was like that because this hole is incredibly difficult. At this distance, at 453 feet uphill, you're playing like 525 feet, and then there's a bunker in between the green and the basket. So I don't really know how to approach this hole.
Calvin's finding the green here.
Oh, that's going to be costly shot there. That's going to leave Calvin a long putt for par. He's going to be in danger of getting his first bogey on the round.
This looked really good from our angle. We thought this had totally cleared the sand trap, but actually it was kind of hitting to the side of it.
And that's going to be out of bounds on the green.
Hopped out onto the green.
It's just a hard hole for me to really conceive how you're supposed to play this shot. Maybe hanging it out wide of the bunker.
Josh is going with a really far right shot.
Yeah, just that maybe that play, but with something higher, more overstable, and obviously 100 feet further. And it's just asking so much.
I played way too safe off the tee, so I was not happy to have this long of an upshot, and I kind of pulled it, but curls in there okay.
Yeah, anytime the basket's on the mound, you want to leave yourself inside 15 feet, so that's going to be a little bit of a pucker putt, but certainly one you've made many times in your career.
Josh with a nice approach. Going to see Calvin now. Long putt to save par. Looks like he just decided to lay it up.
That's more of a Josh Anthon save par type distance.
You're right about that.
Just sit there. Yeah, that's the scary part. You hit the cages on a hillside. You never know what's about to happen. And a good par save. We were saying the over-under for birdies on this hole is 3.5, and you said you wanted to take the over.
Yeah, I'd have.
You were right. There were
I
8.
played with Stephen Heaps and Shane Seal at Paul V. Johnson State Park in Hattiesburg, Mississippi.
The first person to show me disc golf was a couple of my buddies from high school, and the first course was Renaissance Gold in Charlotte, North Carolina. Baptism by fire.
And that's right. If you ever played Renaissance, you know that course is no joke.
Yeah, that's a tough one. Hole 14, par 3, 441. The second in a row of 2 incredibly difficult par 3s. This one is just really long. This basket is, again, different position. It's going to be to the right of the golf green. This is the old par 4 position from previous years. So the basket's going to be to the right of the golf green at 441. Big turnovers is available. Forehand layup, maybe roller. You're going to see me go with kind of more forehand layup. Again, shorter than I intended, but not too much harm done.
Yeah, there's that cart path that's in play, but your disc was not nearly in danger of going out of bounds.
Josh was saying he's fallen far enough behind Calvin, he felt like he needed to press to have any chance.
Yeah.
And he's going big here.
That needs to come back in bounds. Oh, my goodness.
We ruled that in bounds.
Wow, that is as close as it gets. And Calvin kind of playing for the layup shot there. Not really needing to go for anything too scary. This is certainly one of the harder holes in the course. Third most difficult hole, averaging 3.13. It's just there's so many aspects. You got the blind shot. You've got the tree on the green with the tree fingers hanging down below the basket.
Austin, forehand.
Oh, no. Don't do it. Okay, wow.
It was crazy. Almost threw it in, rolled uphill, out of bounds for a moment, but luckily got back in.
Wow. Yeah, it's just kind of showcasing all the elements that this hole has to offer. I mean, it's just one difficult thing after the next. And if you can get a birdie on this hole, you are certainly picking up at least a stroke on the field.
And here is Josh after taking his meter.
And
Great birdie.
That's a huge birdie.
And a quick shout out to Dustin Keegan. I'm not sure that anyone else did it. He went back-to-back twos on those last 2 holes.
13 and 14.
I can't imagine anyone else did that.
Well, let's continue that shout out because Dustin Keegan finished the round birdieing 12 straight holes.
Wow.
The entire back 9 and the last 3 of the front. I mean, he's making a run.
Yeah.
Just so you guys know, he's coming in right now. He's finishing his round right about this time. So that score is posted. He's in the clubhouse at 30 under, which is still trailing Calvin, which is incredibly impressive. But
Wow.
Dustin has put together incredible rounds 2 and 3 to move up into second place.
Wow. Hole 15, par 3, 367. This one's got an out-of-bounds cart path, and all those rocks behind the pin are also out of bounds. Additionally, if you go 40 or so left, there's an out-of-bounds line. So you really need to be precise here. Overstable driver, overstable mid-range, either one.
And this is leaking a bit left. But not bad, actually, at all. Wow.
Got in there pretty close.
Okay. What are you throwing here?
That same Champ Thunderbird.
Heading for a similar shot to Josh's, a little bit longer and very similar result inside 25 feet. I thought Calvin might throw that Champ Rhino here. You see how overstable that thing still is, and he is also inside 25.
I think this might be a Predator.
Wow. Incredible grouping here from our feature, or a lead card, I should say. And that's the furthest from the pin. That's pretty impressive.
Trending towards a star frame here. 2 more putts. Josh is home.
Oh, and there's Paige Pierce scurrying in the background to actually cover Dustin Keegan finishing out that 15 under round 3. So you see that now he's in the clubhouse.
Yep. Hole 16, par 4, 723. This one is way up to the left. You go as long as you can with the drive, and then you have to stay a little bit right because there is a cart path, and then you're going uphill, but there's a pretty good drop off behind the pin.
Yeah, that green is far enough away from the tee that there's some guys that would throw into that green if they're going full out distance, but for the most part, it's just kind of a grip it and rip it type hole.
Josh was worried about this leaking left. The cart path might be in play here, or the bunker,
Oh my goodness.
or neither.
Oh my goodness.
Right on the skinny spot in between them.
That is living right, folks.
I'm trying to get aggressive here.
Oh, a cut roller. Never would have thought of that. That's a pretty safe play.
Yeah, it's not too bad. This is pretty, not even that well done. It kind of burned out on me, and that's still actually a pretty good place to be.
Sure, that's a good air shot. That's at least 480 feet from the tee.
All right, folks, get ready. We've got our first thrower of the day.
Thrower alert.
And watch how many circles this does. It's the most circles I've ever seen.
All right, that's one. That counts as one
This
circle
is
right
one
there.
biggie.
Yep. Okay.
Talk about power.
Okay.
Give me 2.
Yeah, that's going to be a...
Give me a 3rd.
We're going to have 3 circles?
Give me a 4th.
Well, that's 3.
4.
That's 4. And then that's like 8 at the very end.
Yeah, but that was pretty crazy.
That might be pushing the 28-second shot clock meter from Chris
We're gonna have
Shotwell
to get
from
somebody
yesterday.
to measure that.
That's our first
Huge
2019
air
thrower.
shot right there. That was fantastic air shot from Austin. Calvin got that Sexton Firebird out.
Oh, that's the new one. That's the 2019,
Yeah,
right?
I hooked him up with one.
Oh, man. It's a good player to have that disc. And that is just down the hill a little bit. It's going to be 28 feet or so coming back uphill. Speaking of Firebird, I believe that's what you're throwing here.
Yep, definitely.
Similar result, maybe a little bit better. Josh, look at that lie. Just pinched in between the bunker and the sidewalk.
Big, high floaty shot. Nice.
Oh, a little move cam action there. I like that. And that's a big shot there from Austin, right there in the middle of the fairway, leaving a pretty short shot. I think he's throwing a zone for his approach. Anytime you can throw a putter for your approach shot, you really got a big tee shot off.
If the whole 720, yeah, you're telling me that's huge.
And that's a
720
great
with an uphill finish.
Mm-hmm. That's a really good putt from Josh there, right at that circle's edge, just inside. But a lot of these baskets on these mounds here make putting on the green so much more difficult. And you're salvaging a pretty good back nine right now, Nate.
Yeah, trying to come back.
Mm-hmm. Front nine was a little slow, 300, but so far 5 down with a couple of birdie holes to go. Looking like we're going to have back-to-back star frames here if Austin can connect here. Yeah.
Heating up.
And this stretch here at the end of a factory store course, these last 4 holes are, you got to go 3 down.
Mm-hmm.
You feel like 3 down is like the least acceptable finish.
Yeah, if you're trying to win,
Mm-hmm.
you got to be up there. Hole 17 is a technical little shot, 295 over a rise. The most common play is probably the Anheuser forehand, trying to go through there with a little bit of Anheuser and then bail back up the hill. You also see some over-the-top Heisers and maybe backhand putter, though it's a really technical little backhand shot.
And Josh going for the low forehand right over the hillside. You can't really draw it up any better than that. That's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Is that an eagle he's throwing there? Or?
I'm not sure. Eagle or Firebird, I would think.
And you were as well going for the sexy bird skip shot. That is a very well executed throw there. Calvin as well. You guys are making this look so easy. I didn't even want to go with the forehand here. I just went thumber over the top, just take all the trees out of the way. But yeah, that forehand shot is really technical.
What I wouldn't give to be a giant.
It has some advantages.
I couldn't thumber this to save my life. Austin got into a kind of a tricky spot there, sort of like down in a ditch behind these bushes. He's got to go with a floaty putt. I thought he might have had it when we saw that live, but just barely low. Vinny is in.
And Calvin, I mean, wow. What can you say about this guy that hasn't already been said so far this round? He's got that composure of a champion, and he's just now starting his career off. I mean, he's been playing pro for years. And I'm sure most people who are fans of the game have heard of Calvin Heimburg by now.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he was leading the World Championships through round 1 last year. I mean, he's won several big tournaments down in the Southeast. But
yeah. Obviously, he's just starting, but I can't help but think, you know, a young Ken Climo, tall, kind of Clearwater, Florida.
Okay.
You know, sky's the limit.
Sure.
Who knows, you know?
Yeah.
It's a place with some rich disc golf history.
Ken Climo?
Yeah, you heard of him?
Yeah, he's a guy from Clearwater, Florida, right?
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've heard of him.
Hole 18, par 4, 573, a little bit shorter par 4, OB right and left. And you've got to just kind of throw a nice long drive short of the green if you want to play safe, or if you're just a ripper, you could go straight across.
It's certainly in play for some of us, but not something I think many people are really thinking. It's just so scary with that green pretty much consuming most of the way.
If you listen right there, Josh let that drive go as it was like halfway up in the air. He went, birdie.
He did that a lot in practice rounds, too.
He just knew it was good enough.
Yeah, it cracks me up, man.
I kind of crushed this more than I meant to, and I got scared for a second that I was going golf green.
Oh, my goodness.
But,
yeah.
But luckily didn't.
That's maxing out the layup drive right there.
Yeah.
And some people thinking Calvin could go for this. Again, why would you?
He could, but he doesn't need to.
Doesn't need it right now. Four successfully thrown layup drives here for this group. This is the second easiest hole on the course, averaging 3.35. Really not that scary. I think maybe bringing in Obi on the left would be something they could do to maybe make it a little bit more challenging. But
Yeah, I think the combination of being short and having the green be so forgiving makes it a little too easy. Because you just throw it hard and that backstop just catches every shot.
right.
So the upshot is like very low stress.
Yeah, when the basket was on that mound, just about 40 feet up and to the right, it certainly changed the feeling of this hole.
Maybe there's a way to move the tee back a little or something, but still a fun hole to throw.
Yeah, it is. I mean, and we did see 2 eagles on the hole.
Hopefully there's one right here. Come
Right.
on, please make it, please make it. Dang it.
Wait a second. It could tree. Okay, that's not going in. Garrett Gerthy, with his second eagle of the round, he also was one of the 3 players that eagle hole 2. And Eagle McMahon, who
His
had
second eagle of the round.
his second eagle around. So Paul Macbeth, Garrett Gerthy, and Eagle all had 2 scores below par
That's nice.
on the same round. It's a very rare thing to see, and then 3 players to do it in the same round is incredible.
Calvin goes to 36 under through 3 rounds, averaging, I think I heard 1067 or
Yeah, it's
something like that. Really shredding.
and getting that 4 through 4 finish. Awesome. The only one to miss one of those last 4 there, missing hole 17, but really good golf overall from the lead group here in round 3. Calvin extending that lead to 6 strokes over the charging Paul Macbeth and Dustin Keegan with a round of his life. 15 under, like we said before, birdied the last 12 holes.
1 round to go. There you see the leaderboard. Can Calvin hold on? I think he might be able to do it. He's a smart player, 6-shot lead, but it's never easy. Come on back tomorrow to see final round action from Las Vegas.